Cheers, cheers, cheers. It is me, Misha and Mimi. Hi. I have been studying Jyotish for 6 years, literally every single week since April 2020. And today we're getting into the next moon of summer. This is an amāvasyā moon or a new moon. And an amāvasyā moon, it's a dark moon. It's when the sun and the moon are together in the same zodiac sign. So the moon is dark because the sun's light is not able to shine fully on her. And the moon, it is the fastest moving planet, and it governs the fluctuations of our emotional and our mental bodies, something called our manas. And statistically, there literally are more crimes during full moons and new moons. I took a class in university called Crime and Statistics. You know, the word lunatic comes from La Luna. And as a child of a retired FBI agent, retired homicide detective, I do remember my stepdad always being like, oh, it's a full moon, people are gonna be crazy. Like, he would just casually say that. So if you feel a little more intense during the moon, this is normal. That's how the moon affects us. The moon, not only does it represent our manas, which is our mind, our emotions, but it also affects our instinct, our imagination. Even the moon card in tarot is all about trusting your instinct. There's also this like nurturing quality that comes with the moon. We think of moms, like mother figures. Look at her, look at this little cat. And there is a difference between Jyotish and Western astrology. Western astrology, it doesn't factor in something called the ecliptic, which is Earth's wobble, and that shifts 1 degree every 72 years. So if each zodiac sign is 30 degrees, right? And Western astrology is off by 24.7 specifically. That is a huge portion of it that's incorrect. So for example, I grew up believing I was the sun Pisces. I'm Pisces. Imagine my surprise when I put in my calculations, I'm actually a sun Aquarius. Before you clutch your pearls, but I can't be a Scorpio because my ex was a Scorpio. My ex was a terrible person. Your ex may have actually been a Libra. Everything we know is a lie. And I actually traced why this is the way it is. So I think it was about 1870, there was this white man named Alan Leo in England, and he wanted to start a newspaper column, like where you read your zodiac sign in the newspaper. He popularized this. However, it was too expensive for him to print every single planet every day. So what he did instead was just print the sun, because his moniker, his nickname was Alan Leo. So what ended up happening is everyone just started using the sun sign. I did some digging into him because he actually ended up being ostracized from the astrological community during that time for being like a snake oil salesman, like just beating people bullshit. And I was like, what happened? Let me use my researcher skills, get the tea. So this man, he actually went to India and studied what we're doing, Vedic. He studied Vedic from the source. And then he came back and completely disavowed it and literally said, we're going on vibes. We're going on vibes and feelings and impressions. I'm not joking. Here's a beautiful quote, pause to read. And then he ended up dying like a horrible little death, like sick, penniless, no one loved him. I think he went to India because India, we do predictive astrology. I think he got a prediction. Maybe he was in like his sati sati or something happened, because he ended up coming back saying, nah, let's not focus on that, but then had a terrible little death. But that's literally why we focus on our sun sign, because of that man. And think about it, most other systems, lineages, they follow the moon. Think about it, the Chinese Lunar New Year. India uses a 13-month calendar. I think it's about 28 days per month to track the cycles of the moon. Why are we one of the only societies that does this masculine sun bullshit? Because the man wanted money. Oh my God, sorry. Can capitalism just like, please, just like for a second. But that's why we follow our sun sign. How I learned, it's like, cool, you are a sun Cancer, but what bhava, what house is that occurring in? Because the sun in the first house is significantly different in how it operates than if it were in your 10th house or your 7th, or it's different. Every house in the cul-de-sac has a flavor. When I think of the zodiac sign, I think of a cul-de-sac, and I think of 12 different houses. Even the Western form of a chart is a circle. We use a box-like grid. I have it on my hand for Jyotish. And each house has its own energy, its own flavor. So I will be telling this prediction for the new moon from the perspective of your rising sign. So if you don't know it, link in the bio so that you can find out from your Vedic perspective. Just play. I digress. When we have a new moon, this is like a new beginning. Imagine like the lunar cup of the moon is completely empty and you get to manifest, bring things into your life. This moon is particularly interesting because it is in one of my favorite nakshatras, Āśleṣā. Āśleṣā, the pratima, the symbol for this nakshatra, is a coiled serpent. And when we think of snakes, think of this energy like ready to spring. There's surprise. There's also an element of like shedding and letting go, being very vulnerable. Because when a snake sheds its skin, its eyes literally cloud over. And it's the most vulnerable when it's the most like transformed. Almost like a butterfly, when it goes into the chrysalis, it can't see. It turns into goo, it disintegrates. Not only does it go into its chrysalis, its shell, but it also completely disassembles itself in order to be reborn. Since that's one of the meanings of this new moon, and new moons represent new beginnings, starting over, fresh, maybe think about some things you want to let go. And depending on where this moon is occurring are other things that you should let go. And think about snakes. Intuitively, people are very reactive toward this creature. People usually scream, freak out, try to attack it, and snakes 9 times out of 10 are minding their business. They are just chilling there. And this also happens to Āśleṣā people, Āśleṣā natives. This sudden attack where one minute you're having a good time and the next minute people are acting unhinged. But you also must be careful with suddenly attacking an Āśleṣā because you are suddenly attacking a snake. So you are now in danger, which is also like another thing of being Āśleṣā and also being like, you know, watch your mouth. Most pretty, shiny things in the wild are quite dangerous. Other things to consider are that Āśleṣā can bring about a competitive spirit. Āśleṣā is associated with immense ambition. So think about what it is that you really want and be like unapologetic. Fuck it. What else do you have to lose? Like go after your goal. You get one life. I love the song Bigger by Beyonce. Life is your birthright. They hid that in the fine print. Take the pen and rewrite it. Step out your excellence. You know, there also can be a little bit of sneakiness, being crafty, manipulative. Be mindful of that energy during this moon. And I literally today found my fucking serpent bookmark that it says, look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent underneath it. Which is very Āśleṣā. The Yogataras, these stars that represent this placement for this amāvasyā, this new moon, are occupants, and literally one marker star is called Āśleṣā. And you can see the moon, it's closest to occupants, the sun and the moon, and then Jupiter and Mercury are also involved in this moon. And Jupiter is exalted, it's in Cancer. Jupiter is so happy in Cancer. So Jupiter is Ucha, and Ucha is exaltation, one of the most favorable positions of strength for a graha, where its positive qualities are accentuated and it operates at its highest potential to generate positive outcomes. So I'm going to do a little 3-card pull for this moon based on your rising sign. Go to the timestamp below, okay? Start with your rising sign. Also go watch your moon and your sun. So watch your big 3 so you get the full big kahuna of this reading. Okay. If you want to know how this moon and all of the other moons will affect you, head over to the link in the description box where I have made a free summer calendar for you of every single full moon, new moon, and we have some sneaky eclipses that will occur at the end of summer. It's free 99, so go check it out. And if you also want to learn tarot, I'm teaching tarot and yoga asana over on Patreon, also linked in the description. On my Patreon, I have 2 tiers. I have the $7 tier, which is the Arcana Academy, where I'm teaching tarot. There's already all of the major arcana, so the Fool to the Magician to the High Priestess, like every single major arcana card is up, and every single card for the suit of wands is up, and I'm currently recording the next suit and teaching yoga at the $11 tier. I'm just saying, most yoga studios are not $11 a month. I've been teaching yoga for 13 years, practicing for 24, and I just wanted to have a resource, a platform where you guys can learn yoga from a yoga teacher who gives a fuck, because I care so deeply about you. I care about your practice, your neat suit, and I respect this practice. It comes from India, and I want it to be in a space that's hidden from like weird comment sections and bullshit. So thank you for supporting me, and enjoy this new moon. Hello, my rising Aries. So this amāvasyā, this new moon, will be taking place in your 4th house. The 4th house represents your mind. The moon is strong here. The moon has what we call digbala, or directional strength. So in this cul-de-sac, being in the 4th house, it's like the moon's essence, the moon energy. I like to imagine there's like some ponds, there's some like little sea creatures, some crabs. It's just a good place for the moon to be. Also, Venus thrives in the 4th bhava. But the moon is also, for you, not only digbala, but it's swarashi, meaning in its own sign, the moon being in Cancer, and it's with an Ucha Jupiter. Jupiter is exalted. My God, this moon is beautiful. Ugh. And Mercury is in Cancer, involved in all of this. While this moon is very beautiful, one thing I do want to highlight is that Venus here is a bit fucked up. Venus is Nietzsche, meaning Venus is debilitated. It's weak. It's in a house it doesn't like. It is staying over in Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. Even though Venus and Mercury are mutuals, they're besties in this perceived cul-de-sac, all the planets have friends and enemies. Venus, Mercury, and Saturn are all mutuals. I like to think of them as like a cool little cute clique. And Venus isn't happy though, staying in Mercury's place. And then Venus is being aspected. So imagine in this cul-de-sac, there's spotlights, or maybe like the binoculars. Like they're all like being nosy. Mars is looking in Venus's house by its 4th aspect. And then Saturn is mutually aspecting this Venus, and Saturn is retrograde. So so Venus is a bit beat up here. So let's see how this will be affecting you, because this is taking place, my rising Aries, in your 4th house of the home. The 4th house represents your mind, your emotions. So let's see what may be occurring for you during this moon. Ooh, girl. We have the 7 of Swords. And the 7 of Swords represents cutting your losses. I have in my notes, editing and removing what is no longer needed. So before we get to this moon, because we do have some time, it's on August 12th, think about what you want to let go of. This is the moon. I imagine it's like a drain, like emptying. All the lunar energy of the cup is emptying. So think about what you want to let go of before this moon even occurs. And this is doubly auspicious, the 7 of Swords, because this is in Āśleṣā Nakshatra. And what did I say at the beginning? It's all about letting go, shedding. The 7 of Swords appears to tell you that it is time to make a quick getaway. It reflects the moments when you want to cut your losses, take only what you need, and get out of town. It's literally leaving what you don't need behind you. So any people, places, relationships, things that no longer serve you. I like to think of this card as the like move like Beyonce card. She doesn't tell anyone her next move, she just does it. And you can't predict her. Think of moving like a snake. A snake, 9 times out of 10, is just gonna try to get out of dodge. They don't really engage in conflict unless you antagonize them. So cut your losses before there is even an opportunity to have a loss. The 7 of Swords also warns you to look out for deception. More Āśleṣā themes of deception coming up here. This also asks, are you taking from others only to satisfy yourself? So are you being a bit selfish? My rising Aries. Oh, what's happening? Okay, let's see. Oh, girl, we have the 3 of Swords. What is going on, Aries? I mean, this Venus is a bit fucked up. And Venus does rule your 7th house relationship, Aries. Okay, is it time to break up with whoever you're dating? The 3 of Swords represents a heartbreak. It's literally a heart with swords stabbed through it. Betrayal, broken heart, ripping your heart to shreds, letting go for the better, to let the light in. Dump him, do it now. Take out your phone, maybe don't do it over text, but do it today. Do it today, before the moon. Do you want to carry the energy of a relationship that you know is done into this next phase of your life? A snake has to shed its skin in order to grow. This also represents being really mindful with your words. So don't just say things to be mean. Don't be cruel. Just be mindful with your speech. Speech is a very powerful tool, especially since your 2nd lord, also Venus, is debilitated and aspected by Mars, which is a planet of aggression, battles, conflict, fighting, and really harsh, firm Saturn. And Saturn is aspecting your house of speech by its third aspect, my rising Aries. So be mindful with your speech, with loved ones, with whoever you're dating. Ooh! And if you do that, soulmate, what? Aries, this was so chaotic. Aries, after all of that, the friggin' Two of Cups. Okay, so something is clearly, hold on, let me get closer. Something's clearly going on with your relationships. This is very interesting because you got the Two of Cups, which is the twin flame soulmate card. This is finding your other half, being with someone who is your mirror image, finding your soulmate. I'm gonna leave it with that, my loves. Oh, you know what, Aries, I'm not gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to use my Astro die to figure out what this potential person's big three is, okay? Big money, big money, big money. Okay. Oh, okay. We have Aries, not once, but twice. That could be in this person's big three. Okay. And then we have Virgo, actually. So Aries, Virgo could be in this person's big three. So don't let your boyfriend get in the way of finding your husband, who might be Aries, Virgo in their big three. Thank you, my rising Aries babies. This is the reading that I got for you. And if you found it helpful, please drop a sword emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you're a rising Aries and that you made it this far. And then if you want a fuller, more like complete reading in this playlist, go watch your other big three. So your rising, your sun, and your moon. Check them all out and let me know if it resonated with you. Happy amāvasyā moon. Hello, my rising Taurus. So this amāvasyā, this moon will be occurring in your third house. And the third house represents courage, challenges, being an entrepreneur, writing, technology, things of this nature. And this new moon is all about shedding and letting go. I'm trying to see how, oh, we have the Page of Wands that flipped over as I was pontificating as to how this moon will be affecting you. So the Page of Wands represents being fascinated and following your delight. So since this is a card of courage, I would say go after what you want. Be courageous. The Page of Wands, it's about focusing on what thrills you, what excites you. This is being fascinated with something, being so in awe. Imagine you are in your cul-de-sac and you just see like hummingbirds everywhere. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Just totally absorbed in that thing. That's what the Page of Wands is asking you to do for this moon. And notice this is occurring in your third house of courage. But the third house represents taking a risk, doing something courageous. Page of Wands wants you to focus on creativity for the sake of being creative, not for profit. So whatever you're working on, try not to have a bit of a capitalist mindset when it comes to it. Just do it because you want to do it, because you like it. And if it eventually brings you money, sure, cool. But for right now, before you even start thinking about that, just do it because you like it, because you love it. Most creative people who are really passionate in their work, it's something that they would do anyway. So just do it. I think of my tattoo artist, Emily. She just is constantly creating something. Yes, she earns from it, but like she's an artist. Like she is an artist, full stop. Her brain is just like, you have to work with her to get it. She's so Page of Wands. She focuses on what thrills her. Let's see, what else? Oh, we got the Ace of Wands. This is having a creative new idea, my rising Taurus. And honestly, your Lugnatia rising Taurus is Venus. And Venus is a bit fucked up right now. Venus is currently Nitra in Virgo, meaning she's debilitated. She's a bit weak. And she has a double aspect from Mars and Saturn. And Mars is a malefic planet of like war and battles, and Saturn is a separative planet. They're both very intense. The benefit here is that you do have this beautiful moon occurring in your third house of courage, giving your courage a bit of a refresh, if you will. And I think that this will help you Find that creative spark, because in the Ace of Wands, this is an idea that is like career calling. It's your passion. It's having no other focal point. I like to imagine like you're in a tunnel and you literally just have a wand to guide you, and you can only see that bit of light. You can only focus on what's in front of you, on what thrills you. So maybe not getting distracted by other things. Imagine this big ass wand just came out of the sky and you only had it to guide you. What would you shine its light upon? Would you use it well? The Ace of Wands represents courage and the overwhelming desire / need to create. This is believing in yourself and acting on your ideas and your inspirations. So being in a very creative state and acting on that creativity. And Venus is a planet of passion, and Venus is in the 5th bhava of creativity, actually, your Lagnesha. So yes, do something this moon that's creative. Have you neglected your art recently, or whatever you've been working on? Especially Venus here, you're in a little bit of a funk, a wee funk. You have the King of Cups. Pour your heart out into your work. You have to be more vulnerable, more honest with your feelings. Have the courage to be honest about your feelings. Maybe this will resonate with you, my rising Taurus. The King of Cups shows up when the time has come to step up and be your own person. Perhaps having the courage, as seen in the 3rd bhava, of being your own person. Maybe shedding and letting go, invoking that Āśleṣā nature of this moon, letting go of being other people, hiding behind a mask. This will inspire others who are still on their journey and allow you to step into the energy of being a healer, a teacher, and a leader. This is being guided by your instinct and your emotion. This is also being able to see things from another POV, because you are so emotionally mature. So how can you, my rising Taurus, find that creative spark, whatever it is that thrills you, that excites you, something that gets you out of bed at 4 a.m. that you want to work on, that you can pour your heart out into? Oh, please leave a flame emoji if you have made it to the end of the video to let me and others know that you are a rising Taurus. And please go watch the rest of your big 3. They're all in this playlist. Go check out, in addition to your rising, your sun and your moon, to see really how this moon will be affecting you. Okay, bye. So happy new moon, happy amāvasyā to my rising Geminis. So this new moon is occurring in your 2nd house. And the 2nd house represents your extended family, people who you feed, so maybe charity, your eyesight, your teeth, your voice, your speech. The 2nd house, the 2nd bhava, also represents money that you earn yourself, movable property, so little like tchotchkes, like tarot decks, or little dye or tea or coffee, like gemstones, jewels, tiny movable things, your clothing, your perfume. And this is a bhava of truth and untruths. It also represents your food, your diet, cooking, word of mouth learning, and sacred oral tradition. And it's interesting because the previous moon that we had, the Purnima moon, was in Shravana, which was all about oral tradition. So there's kind of this like theme that's coming back to it. So how can we incorporate this Āśleṣā moon? So perhaps you are mindful with what you say, your speech. This moon represents letting things go, noticing if things no longer serve you. Since Āśleṣā represents new beginnings, changing things, and medicine, and the 2nd bhava is about what you eat, what you consume, think about maybe some shifts in what you consume. Maybe you let go of certain things. Maybe you let go of drinking, smoking. This could be a really good time to kind of kick that habit. And notice too how you can be mindful with your speech and your words, because this is the 2nd bhava of speech and words. And I have a feeling, rising Geminis, that is something that you should be mindful of. Mercury, your Lagnesha, your rising lord, is the planet of speech. So think of what you can transform speech-wise. We have the King of Swords. That's what is one of the themes of swords? Speech. Okay. The King of Swords is at work when you find just the right words to express yourself. It's that beautiful moment when you have the perfect response to any situation, especially an overwhelming one. So my rising Gemini babes, especially with Mars in your first bhava right now, it could be making you a bit reactive, and Saturn is aspecting a Nietzsche Venus in your 4th house of your mind and your emotions, and Mars is aspecting that. Be mindful with your speech, your thoughts, your words. Mercury also was just fucking retrograde for a while, so we're still in the come down of those patterns and those habits. So see how you can modify and let go of any poor speech. We have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups represents a romantic partner. The Knight of Cups represents love, romance, a deep emotional lover, a sweet talker. This could be receiving messages of love. So we have 2 types of energy here. It's giving very much like low-key love triangle. I feel like we have these 2 energies of someone who is maybe an older gentleman, maybe a bit more intelligent, a bit more direct, a bit more precise with his words, with his speech. And then the Knight of Cups, someone who could maybe be a love bomber. Knight of Cups is very fantasy and emotional love, the person who wants to guide you where you want to be, someone who makes you feel really comfortable. I'm just going to do 1 die for each of these to see. Ooh. So we have Sagittarius energy for the King of Swords, and then we have Taurus energy for the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups asks you to pay attention to synchronicities in your life. Notice if someone is kind of a smooth talker, a bit manipulative. I see where this is going. I see where this is going. I think this is actually 1 energy, not 2 people. We got Taurus again. So there's someone who embodies both the King of Swords, being super sharp with their words, clear, concise, but also a bit of like a smooth talker. So this sounds like maybe a nice gentleman. I will just say Venus is debilitated right now, which is the planet of love and romance in your 4th house of your mind. So you may not be able to make a clear decision and discern this energy. If the person is being truthful, if they're just being kind of manipulative and crafty. Āśleṣā is a bit tricky. It's a little sneak. And your Lugnation Mercury is involved in this moon. It is, I mean, a really nice moon. It's completely unafflicted in your 2nd bhava. I think you could see a lot of benefits though, if you are able to tap into your discernment and maybe use more logic, like the King of Swords, that sharp intellect and truth over just vibes and feelings. Ooh, we have the 6 of Cups. So the 6 of Cups is all about taking a step back to look at a situation. Notice if you may have been a bit emotional, pause and review your situation with non-judgmental eyes. Like take a look back at what the fuck is going on in your life and be like, you know what? This happened, but we're gonna move forward and use those lessons as like fuel to manifest something else. The 6 of Cups represents returning to yourself. This is having like a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, coming back to yourself emotionally, being in a place where maybe you were a bit more vulnerable, a bit more, I don't know, like I'm getting this sense of like unhinged kind of all over the place, and trying to have empathy and compassion for your past self in order to get rid of negative emotions. Try to open your heart and give yourself up freely. So it seems like you have either 1 man or 1 individual who can embody this King of Swords, Knight of Cups energy, or maybe 2 different people, but look out for Sagittarius and heavy Taurus energy for this new moon in Āśleṣā. Thank you. So if you made it to the end of this video, my rising Geminis, let's drop a bull emoji in the comment section to let me and others know. Okay, I love you. Thank you. Happy new moon. So, rising Cancers. This moon is taking place in your Lugna, and especially if you are an Āśleṣā Lugna, this is a very important moon for you. Talk about fucking new beginnings. August 12th, I predict, is going to be massively transformative for any rising Cancers or anyone who has significant Cancer placements, but specifically rising Cancer. Especially, this has the sun, this has the moon, so it repeats from all 3 Lugnas, the Surya Lugna, the Chandra Lugna, it repeats. Jupiter is here, exalted, Mercury is here, it's completely unafflicted, it's so beautiful. It's just such a wonderful moon. Think about what can you let go and shed of yourself. That is what the first house represents here. The self, you. I see a lot of rising Cancer people suddenly like becoming recognized for something, becoming known for something. If you shed parts of yourself, this is you. The first house is your body, your constitution, your face, your hair, your head, your brain, how you look. This physical embodied meat suit. What can you transform about it? Maybe you get a haircut. Maybe you change up your appearance, your aesthetic a little bit. Maybe you start wearing some freaking elf ears and a kimono and do tarot for the internet. But this is a deeply transformative period for you. And if you tap into it correctly and mindfully, you can achieve some status and dignity and honor. But you do have Ketu, the planet of just releasing things, and moksha, the graha of moksha, in the second bhava. So there's also a bit of detachment when it comes to this. We have the Emperor. The Emperor represents structure in your life. So restructuring your life, rising Āśleṣas. Yeah, that's definitely what this moon can bring, because it's just, there's so much happening. Again, Jupiter is fucking exalted, and Jupiter is aspecting your 5th house of creativity and discernment, making good choices, and your 9th house of spirituality and teachers, father figures, higher learning. Jupiter is like pacifying the Saturn. Like it's such a lovely moon. The Emperor is the part of you that creates habits and form. He is the way you structure your day, organize your work, and create a foundation. So think about what it is in your life that you can maybe have a little bit more foundation, more routine. So this is developing some sort of structure and support system in your day-to-day. It could be redeveloping your sleep schedule, because your 12th lord of sleep, Mercury, is also involved in this moon. It could be redeveloping your habits, your routines, because Jupiter, your 6th lord of habits and routines, is in your 1st house. So it's change that's initiated within yourself. Could also be developing some sort of yoga practice, meditation, chanting, having a teacher, because your 9th lord, Jupiter, is here and it's aspecting into that bhava with karmic Saturn retrograde. You can do like so much with this moon. And your Lagnatia is here, your 2nd lord of speech is here. It's a deeply transformative time, but you need structure, because when the snake sheds its skin, it's structured. It's enclosed within its like little casing, and then it comes out of it. When a caterpillar transforms into the chrysalis, it also turns to goo, but it's structured. It's not just spilling out everywhere. There's some sort of container for this transformative nature. And so let's see what else rising Cancers, this moon, has in store for you. Oh, we have the 4 of Swords, which the Emperor in tarot is the number 4. So angel number 44. This number is also going to be important for you, Cancer. Cancer is also the 4th sign of the zodiac. Oh my God. So 4 is really important. If you start seeing 44, 444, it's a sign. I'm an angel number 4. It's a sign. So the 4 of Swords, though, is taking a necessary rest. You've been working a bit hard, maybe overthinking. You need to quiet your mind in order to honestly develop that structure that comes from the Emperor card. This is a rest that is well earned. You've been working very, very hard. I know there's this desire to constantly move and shift. There's a lot happening in your 1st house. But remember to rest. Remember to get some sleep, set your alarm, tidy up your home. In order to fully process the things that you need to rest. Again, going into that chrysalis-like state, it's not this active thing that occurs. It's like passively inactive, inactively active, passively active, I don't know, but it's something. When the 4 of Swords appears, you can rest easy about any decisions that you have recently made. The idea that first sprouted, the Ace of Swords, has taken root and now has grown. It is a stable and workable plan and a solid foundational thinking. Again, we have that solid foundation, stable. That same language is mirrored in the Emperor card. Now is the time for rest as you prepare to move to the next level now that you've achieved success. The Four of Swords also asks you to go a bit easy on yourself. It's easy to be on go, go, go. You know, you are Cancer, rising Cancer. You're represented by the moon, the fastest moving planet, graha, in the zodiac. It's susceptible to so many changes and influence. It influences tsunamis and tidal waves, our emotions, everything. Try to rest. Ooh, a card has flipped over. Oh my gosh, we have the Six of Cups. We got this in an earlier reading. This is being able to return to yourself, having this sense of self restored, coming back to who you are, your true nature. This is having some sort of pressure walk out of your life. In the card, there's this like authority figure leaving, and this is any sort of boundaries or rules, authority figures, whether perceived or not, whether it's you or someone else like actually in your life, but just stop being so hard on yourself and look at what has occurred and give yourself some freaking grace, because you have really, really worked hard, and give yourself some rest. Remember to get some structure, get some rest, and then to be kind to yourself because you have worked very hard, my rising Cancers. Okay, thank you so much. If you have made it to the end of this video, let's see, drop 4 swords in the comment section to let me know, in angel number 44, that you are a rising Cancer. Ah, I love this. Thank you so much. Happy new moon. Cheers, 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 my rising Leos. This new moon is taking place in the 12th bhava of your chart. And the 12th bhava represents secret enemies. No, but really, it represents your sleep. I think this is very important for you to try to get some rest, try to get some sleep. The sun is involved in this, your Lugnatia, and the sun was, for a period of time, combusting Jupiter. So in not necessarily like a planetary war, but it was actively contributing to a very intense dynamic for a while. So give yourself some rest. The 12th bhava is also a bhava of expenditures, so taking trips, going places. Maybe you're going on a retreat, maybe you have a weekend trip planned. That's what this bhava represents. And you can see a deep transformation, some sort of new beginning. Maybe you're moving home. Maybe you redefine your sleep schedule, whatever that looks like for you. There's some sort of transformation going on with your dream-like world. Maybe you restructure your dreams and your goals. Leos are quite ambitious. You know, there's this intense, okay. We had a few cards flip over, and I'm gonna take these for you, Leo, because the first card that flipped over is the Devil card. I'm just gonna say it. It's the Devil card. The Devil card represents getting in your own way. So first and foremost, having a bad habit that's almost like an addiction. So it could be watching certain types of TV, but something that it's a momentary thrill. The 12th house, it does also represent like being naughty, because it's sleep, it's the bed comforts. What else do you do in the bed besides sleep? So maybe a little bit too much of a good thing or a good time. But the good thing about the Devil card is that you are holding the key to you. You can remove your own chains of getting in your way at any time. The second card was another major arcana, the fucking High Priestess, which, ready in my notes, you hold the answers to you. The sun, which is your Lugnatia, your rising lord, is the king of the zodiac. Who knows better how to govern, how to rule your life than you? You are the king, the queen, the whatever, the royalty, the architect of your own life. The Three of Wands appeared, which represents seeing your plans unfold. So you've worked really hard. You have put your goals and dreams out there, and now you kind of just have to sit back and see what's going to manifest. This doesn't mean that you can take a break or that, you know, things are over. It's just kind of seeing how things go, watching your ship sail and see, does it make it to port? What happens along the way? A few more cards, oh my goodness. We have the Page of Cups, which represents being very imaginative and trying to really have a positive outlook when it comes to this. So don't be too down on yourself, but use your ingenuity, use your creation, use your imagination. The 12th bhava, my teacher links it to like TV because it's your dream. So things that you can dream up in your mind And then we have Temperance, which is working really hard, focusing on something, trying to temper things, bring two things into unison, which will bring you financial abundance, because we have the 10 of Pentacles, which represents making enough money that you can create generational wealth for yourself. The Sun is the king. He creates all of the land and the gold, and he rules over his kingdom. That's your Āśleṣā. You are ruling over your kingdom. And then we have the 7 of Swords, which I call literally my move like Beyonce card. It represents not saying anything about your plans to anyone. Just make your moves. You don't have to do it in a performative way. Leos, bless you, but you're known to be a bit performative. It is okay. But this is the time for you to zip it and to let your success be the thing. To let your success speak for itself. You don't have to announce it or make a big hoopla or post progress pictures or whatever. Just do the work quietly and efficiently. Okay, my rising Leos. Let's see. There's so many cards here. Why don't you drop a devil emoji to let me and others know that you made it to the end of the video, and happy new moon. Hello, my rising Virgo. So this is an interesting moon for you because a few things are happening that I want to address before we get into the moon, okay? Because this is important. Venus, the planet of love and relationships, is currently debilitated in Virgo. So in your first house, Nietzsche means debilitation. So it's the weakest point of a graha, a planet, where it may not function properly nor provide favorable results. And Venus, for this moon, is aspected by both malefic Mars and malefic Saturn, which can bring probably a bit of intensity to this Venus, which I want you to be super mindful of. Venus rules in your chart your second bhava of speech and what you eat, what you consume, so be mindful of those things. And Venus also rules your 9th house of fathers, teachers, spirituality, higher learning. Don't fall into a cult. Not like I mean, it could be like a Kool-Aid situation, and not like to that extent, but be mindful of like scams, because this moon is in Āśleṣā and it's occurring in your 11th bhava of social circles, friends, community. And Āśleṣā is that charming, kind of manipulative. Granted, it's like a very benefic moon because Jupiter is here exalted, and it's this bhava, the moon, is completely unafflicted by malefics. But just because you do have this inherent debilitated Venus situation occurring, as you sort through all of the really joyous and amazing, wonderful, like truly amazing social groups and people that you will encounter, be mindful for coattailers and phony, fake weirdos. Be mindful of people giving you just a bunch of lip service. Try to see things from a new perspective. We have the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man represents readjusting your perspective. So you really need to take a better evaluation of how you've been handling friends. Really look around you at your friend circle, at your circumstances, and ask yourself, like, are you happy with the people who you have around you? And this could be a good opportunity to shed and let go and release. I'm so serious. If you don't like where you are in your life, you don't have to stay. Stay this time. Sorry, Ariana, love you. Love your hair down bad. But you have the ability to modify your social circle to something exceedingly like positive and powerful, because I think this moon is just gonna help you clear house. The gift of the Hanged Man is the ability to look directly through your current situation. It's the ability to see things from an entirely different perspective. This card is the card of mystics and artists. The Hanged Man's gift to you is the ability to toss aside any preconceived notions so that you can see the world with a fresh pair of eyes. You can see your social circles and the people you keep around you with a fresh pair of eyes. So notice if all of a sudden maybe you start finding yourself drawn to different groups of people or different energies, different vibes, you know, because you're tuning yourself to what feels more authentic to you. Notice if you have a bit of an aversion to energies and people that don't really suit you. Jupiter is also in the 11th bhava, aspecting by its 9th aspect your 7th house of partners, all others with whom you deal. And Jupiter is one of the most benefic planets in our zodiacal system. So wherever Jupiter shines his light in the cul-de-sac, he kind of purifies and cleans. So in the cul-de-sac, if there's some ruffians in a house, when Jupiter shines his light, they skitter and scatter. So if suddenly people start leaving your life and you have a different bit of a social circle you hang out with, that's also something to observe. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just for you to observe. You have the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles represents manifesting your dreams into a reality. So this is the desire for money and the willingness to learn how and exercise the discipline to get it. This is being very goal-orientated, very ambitious. And this is interesting because the 11th bhava, one of the meanings of it is desires and their fulfillments, hopes, wishes, aspirations, goals. Goal-orientated, being ambitious. This is the bhava for you to tune out the noise. Also, maybe a social group, maybe people around you who aren't really being good counsel. This moon, oh my gosh, sorry, I'm having like a, this moon, all of the grahas in it, the sun, moon, Mercury, Jupiter, are all aspecting your 5th bhava of counsel, people who you keep around you, discernment, people who help you make choices. So try to be more focused and hang out with people who have the same mindset of like a work ethic as you. You want to be around a community that actually serves you and thrives. Mercury, which is your Lagnesha, your Lagna Lord, is really susceptible to the energies he's around. If Mercury is around positive planets like this moon, Jupiter, sun, moon, he's going to behave well. He's like the kid in class that's kind of easily swayed. If Mercury is around Saturn or Mars, he's going to be a bit naughty. That's your Lagnesha. So maybe, not that you will be bad or good, but you are an amalgamation of the company you keep. There's an expression or something that's like, you are a combination of the 5 people you keep closest to you. Think about that. We have the Ace of Swords. This is having an excellent new idea that can help you eventually make a living, earn income. The 11th bhava is also money, gains, recognition earned from your career because it comes right after the 10th bhava of career. So think about how you can use literally the hanged man energy of seeing something from a different perspective. Also, the Page of Pentacles is studying and learning and research. I have in my notes that this is kind of like planting the seed to start your manifestation garden, and try to create a realistic plan with reachable goals so that you can manifest anything that you desire. The Ace of Swords also represents slicing through any negative thought patterns. So any bad thoughts, any negative speech patterns that you may have been saying, cutting that shit the fuck out. Time to move on, let it go, see things from a new perspective, and really focus instead to choose and change your thoughts. Focus more on this idea. Focus more on your research. Try to keep using the hanged man to see things from a new perspective. Okay, that is what I have for you, my rising Virgos. If you found this helpful, please drop a crown emoji into the comment section to let me and others know that you made it. And I hope that this helps you. Happy new moon. Okay. Cheers, 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 my rising Libras. This moon takes place in your 10th house of career. The 10th house represents your boss, CEOs, elders, karma, action, government, your profession, business, your status in life, your status in your work, fame, your reputation, how people perceive you, your honor, your dignity, your disgrace, great projects, great achievements. And I think that if you put your mind to it, you can have some really transformative things happen for you in this bhava, especially since your Lagnesha Venus is currently debilitated, which means that it's not able to operate to its full potential. So you can use a little boost from this moon, which is all about transformations in your career. We have 2 cards. The King and Queen of Cups came out together. Hello? I don't think I've ever had that happen before. The King and Queen of Cups came out together. So let's see what this could be. So Cups represents our emotions, our feelings, The king represents having a bit of diplomacy, using your emotional maturity, trying to be more relaxed, have a kind attitude, not being forceful to get what you want, and trying to use your experiences to inspire others who are still on their journey. So this is guiding yourself by your instinct, using an open mind and open heart, like really trusting your intuition when making decisions. And then the Queen of Cups is like a therapist. So maybe you counsel someone. This is someone who's like really intuitive, or think like witchy, like someone who does tarot, astrology. So let's just start. I'm gonna pull some more of how this is going to impact your career. The Queen of Cups shows up to ask you to be vulnerable and to trust your intuition. So something with your career, you need to put down the pro-con list, maybe stop asking too many other people for their opinion, and start trusting your instincts, your gut, your intuition to make decisions. We have the Tower. The Tower does represent removing what didn't belong to begin with, completely clearing house. There's something that shouldn't have been there. Maybe you're at a job that you know you really don't fit. It's good to pay the bills, it's good to put food on the table, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, you know that there's something else that you would rather be doing. And this new moon is a good time to transform that energy. This is a moon of letting go, shedding, being maybe a bit competitive, because Āśleṣā is a very competitive, ambitious, kind of cutthroat, will do whatever needs to get done in order to be successful in their goals and in their endeavors. I say this as someone who has an Āśleṣā placement, that when I have a goal and I have something that I want, I do my best to not like go out of my way to hurt people. But if someone doesn't get the fuck out of my way, that's their business, you know? As I read the word ego on the Āśleṣā page. So be mindful about that. I speak from obvious experience. Oh well. But the Tower, yes. So this is a moment of no return. You have to make a definitive decision about what you want to do with your work, what you want to do with your career. This is purification and clearing away any negativity. So burning away pride and ego to make room for this like ascension. This is the need for old structures to fall away to make room for the new. So it's not a complete just desolation. You don't have to, you know, light your fucking desk on fire and walk out, although that may be tempting. But this is clearing away maybe any patterns at work, just within your own work. Maybe you don't need to completely leave, but restructure. Think about how you've actually been moving around. But this is being momentous for radical shifts. So be prepared for some radical shifts in your career. So my rising Libras, that is the reading that I got for you. Please leave a lightning bolt emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end and that you found it helpful. Happy new moon. Cheers, 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 my rising Scorpios. So this moon is going to take place in your 9th bhava. The 9th house represents spirituality, your teachers, father figures, your guru, good luck, fortune, travel, taking a pilgrimage of sorts. So taking a trip with the purposes of being a bit more quiet, slow. It's not like going to Las Vegas. It's more going to Maine. I was just up in Maine and that was a bit of a pilgrimage. It was super low tech. Self-service was terrible. It was incredible. And being a lot in nature. It was very nice. This is higher education, maybe some sort of religion, university. So let's see, my rising Scorpios, what this new moon has in store for you with it being in your 9th bhava. Oh, we have 2 cards. Rising Scorpios, do you know the cards that I just flipped out in my hands? The Fool and the Sun card. Talk about new beginnings. So the Fool card is literally a new, fresh beginning. So maybe you have a new, fresh beginning with some sort of higher learning, education. You could consider going back to school, going back to university. Maybe since the 9th bhava is about fathers, gurus, teachers, You reestablish a connection, a relationship with someone who fits that thing in your life. Maybe it's going and finding a teacher. There is something about seeking and finding a teacher. It happens through word of mouth, maybe by accident. It's not really something you can plan. It just happens. As someone who has a teacher, I in no way, shape, or form like planned finding my teacher. It just happened through a lot of divine timings and things. But the Fool card is not knowing like what's coming at all. It's just taking a step, trusting your blind faith, but knowing that you have a bag of like your past experiences. So you have pattern recognition. Maybe, for example, let's say if, since ninth bhava represents father, you want to reach back out to your dad, father figure. Maybe they act a kind of crazy way. You have pattern recognition to know and to understand when to engage, when to not engage. The Fool card represents acting on instinct. So not necessarily planning too much. Like I said, you don't plan to find a teacher. You don't plan like a spiritual path. You just have to trust your instinct. So maybe you start off by watching a witch on the internet talk about the planets and the stars through tarot. But ultimately, the Sun card is one of the most positive cards in the tarot, and it shows up to illuminate the path, to clear away any past negative experiences. So just know that this new path, this new take maybe into academia, maybe you want to go back to school, it will be fresh. It will be purified by the light of the sun. It's not going to be the same experience that you once had. Whether this is you taking a pilgrimage, taking a trip somewhere, reestablishing a relationship with a father figure in your life, going through academia, it's going to be fresh. And it's going to be super beneficial for you because we have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is planting a seed for prosperity, a seed for abundance. This ninth bhava is also good luck, good fortune. So you will be pretty lucky in your endeavors towards whatever this new path you want to choose. So I don't know if you can see this, but in the background, there's this kind of garden gate. It's like a little archway and it frames mountains and there's a path leading up to it. And this represents that a door of opportunity is opening. You should step out of your comfort zone and seek something wild, something new, a new adventure. The ninth bhava is a foreign or long distance travel, a pilgrimage. Maybe you pack up your apartment and you go to South America or India or like, you know what I mean? Travel. If it's something that you want to do, it's a fresh beginning. I love this for you, my rising Scorpios. Okay, if you made it to the end of this video, please drop a sun emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you are a rising Scorpio and that you found it helpful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cheers, 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 my rising Sagittarius. So, this moon is taking place in your 8th bhava, the 8th house. And the 8th house represents taxes, assassins, thieves, enemies, poison, black magic, manipulation, scandal, infamy. No, I don't want to scare you, but inheritance, other people's money, ancient skills, an ancient skill-based tradition, mystery, the occult, deep psychology, knowledge, research, plots. So your Lugnatia, your rising lord, Jupiter, is involved in this moon and it's occurring in your 9th bhava and it's beautiful. This is a time to really explore. The 8th bhava is a bhava of research, of deep knowledge, hidden truths, the occult. And Āśleṣā is this like super fucking mystic ass placement. Look up the Nagas, Nagas. They impart wisdom and knowledge and like spiritual powers. Just look that up. And I think this could be a really, really cool path for you to go down, especially since your Lugnatia, Jupiter, is exalted in this moon and it's unafflicted. I think this is going to be exceedingly transformative for my rising Sagittarius. This is a time to really like self-discover. Maybe you start to learn tarot. Shameless plug, am teaching tarot over on Patreon. I haven't announced it in any of the other videos. I feel compelled to let you know, but like study something witchy and cool, seriously. Oh, also, if you're in the New York City area, the Morgan Library is having a tarot exhibit all the way until October. So you should go check that out. Think about what deep research you want to do. Maybe it's research of yourself because the Lugnatia, your rising lord, is currently in this house of research. The King of Swords, this is being very precise with your words. This is having a deep intellect and using reason. The King of Swords represents rising above emotions in order to make a good decision. The 8th bhava can be very intense. There's a lot happening, and moons tend to make one, at least me, a bit emotional. So try to stay like very clear, very concise. Try to make some wise decisions. And I'm gonna roll the Astro die because I have a feeling that the King of Swords is maybe a person, an individual in your life. Let's see what their big 3 could possibly be. Sagittarius is one of them. Okay. Aquarius and Scorpio. Sagittarius, Aquarius, and Scorpio. So look out for someone with this in their big 3, also maybe coming in to influence your life during this time. Because whoa, some cards flew out. Okay, we have a few cards. Okay, I'm excited. We have the 10 of Swords. This is finally rest and respite after a long time of running up that hill. But the 10 of Swords is death, destruction. Everything is finished. Your mind is finally made up. So maybe this King of Swords person, you have made your mind up to dump them and to not talk to them. Or you've made your mind up to be with them. I would say that this bhava, the 8th one, is other people's money. So it could be benefits that you get from a lover. We have the 3 of Pentacles, which represents collaboration and working together. So maybe you want to work with someone who has these in these big 3. And this will be, I think this is, are you going to find your husband? Rising Sagittarius, because we have the 2 of Cups, which is that soulmate twin flame energy, and then the Knight of Cups, which is a super, super romantic partner. And the energy I'm getting by looking at this right now is this King of Swords energy at the top, and you have finally like come to the end of a really hard, difficult time through the 10 of Swords. This is ending also bad thought patterns, because Swords represents like your mind, your intellect, your thoughts, and this person is like pinned down with these 10 swords. It's reminiscent of acupuncture. So coming into alignment with your thoughts, which the King of Swords will do, and that will help you be able to see who you can work with. So this is a partner, a relationship where you can actually work with this individual. And I will say that you're someone who you could date, maybe your partner who you're with, a potential future partner, is involved in this moon, because your 7th Lord of relationships, Mercury, is currently in this new moon pattern. And this person will be your soulmate. 2 of Cups, twin flame energy, Knight of Cups, they're super romantic. Okay, no notes. If you made it to the end of this video, my rising Sagittarius, please leave 2 hearts in the comment section for that twin flame energy to let me and others know that you're a Sagittarius and you made it to the end of this video. Happy new moon. Cheers, 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 my rising Capricorn. So this new moon, this moon of deep transformation and shedding and letting go, is taking place in your 7th bhava. And the 7th bhava, the 7th house, represents relationships. So yes, your romance, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your they, them, your partner, your husband, your wife, your partner, that person who you call yours and they call you, etc., etc. And this isn't just also like real romantic partner. This is partnerships in general. So business partnerships and all others, like other people with who you deal. So anyone else in the world, like the 7th bhava is the bhava that's directly opposite the 1st bhava, the bhava of you, the self. So the 7th bhava is the opposite of you. It's everyone else. So my rising Capricorns, let's see. Oh, okay. A card has fallen out. We have the 3 of Cups. The 3 of Cups is all about celebrating and having a good time. So this new moon is going to be affecting your, as we discussed, 7th bhava of relationships. And maybe it's time for you to have a good time. Put yourself out there. So for example, if you're not dating anyone at all, the best thing to do is to celebrate your friends. 3 of Cups is friendship, celebrating. Be mindful to not consume, too much. The next card after this is literally the 4 of Cups, where someone is like, oh, no more, please, to, a bunch of alcohol, but having a good time. And the 7th bhava is, again, all others with who you deal with. So your romantic partner, your business partner, anyone else. So go out, change up your routine. Āśleṣā, the symbol for this nakshatra, is a coiled serpent. So maybe it's time for you to uncoil yourself and to go out and have a good time. This is seeking out friends and family who are lighthearted, easy to be around, people who will raise your vibration. So having a good time with people who are actually positive and not going to be Debbie Downers and make the, vibe be fucking weird. When the Three of Cups shows up, it also wants you to please avoid / put a boundary against any energy vampires. So if you're gonna be out having a good time, hanging out with all these people, be mindful of people who actually are manipulative, weird. Āśleṣā can bring those people into your life because, again, this theme, this symbol of the cunning, sweet talking, manipulative serpent, that sweet talker. So especially if you're out having a good time, be mindful of someone with that energy. We have the Three of Swords, which is the heartbreak and betrayal card. And this is occurring in your 7th bhava of relationships. And we have another 3. So we have angel number 33. 3 of Cups, 3 of Swords. Maybe it's giving single ladies Beyonce and then you go out and you dance and you have fun with your friends. When the 3 of Swords shows up, I have in my notes, you will learn how to love better, become stronger, and breed compassion, especially since this is occurring in your 7th bhava of the other, all others with whom you don't. Be mindful of any intense verbal wounds, cruel words, so be very mindful with your speech, especially since, a card has fallen out, the Ace of Pentacles. This is a seed of opportunity. Being able to plant the seed to manifest something in your life. Ace of Pentacles, we did get this earlier, and this is being able to look through the noise of the partying and the disagreements, the intense wounds, and to still see that seed of opportunity. The 7th bhava is also a bhava of collaboration, of working with others, because it's all others with whom you deal. It's business partnerships. So maybe when you go network at this 3 of Cups party type gathering, you'll be able to meet someone who can help you with your work, who can maybe just good networking in general to help you plant that seed. This is having an excellent new idea that's good for your career. So my rising Capricorns, let's drop 3 cup emojis into the comment section to let me and others know that you are a rising Capricorn and that you made it to the end of your reading. Cheers, 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 my rising Aquarius. This new moon is taking place in your 6th bhava, in your 6th house. And the 6th bhava represents your enemies, your rivals, your competition, your daily routines, your daily grind. So your habits, what you do on a day-to-day basis, your chores, your service. This is your diet, your cooking, your exercise. So having some sort of transformative shedding, letting go, restructuring of your habits and your sense of competition. Are you in competition with others, or are you in competition with yourself? So we have the Death card that has shown up as the first card. And the Death card is a card of letting go. Literally, Āśleṣā, as I discussed earlier, is all about letting go. Shedding your old skin, removing what no longer serves you in order to change, to evolve, to ascend. And when the Death card shows up, it doesn't care about your status. Death comes for the old, the young, the healthy, the infirm, the weak, the strong. It is the great equalizer. No one can escape it. Kings, queens, dictators, billionaires, we all go and we all turn to dust. And that's kind of nice to know that there is an end to it all. Sorry to be a bit dark, but do you know something clever? I have in my notes, this represents Āśleṣā, shedding and letting go, and similar to the season of autumn. So a tree doesn't freak out and hem and haw when it's time to let go of something. It just allows the leaves to fall. So think about your habits and your routines, because that's your 6th house. So what habits and routines do you honestly and earnestly need to restructure and let go? Your diet, what are you actually consuming, eating? Be really honest with yourself. Don't sit there and sugarcoat shit or gaslight yourself. This is the fucking Death card. You have to take it very seriously, especially when you have a new moon, which is all about new beginnings, and Āśleṣā, which is about new beginnings. And this should be quite positive, especially since Jupiter is aspecting by its 9th aspect your 2nd house of eating and food. So you should be able to have a bit of a beneficial, you know, quality to your food. Jupiter, wherever it shines its light in that cul-de-sac, kind of purifies. But Jupiter also has a sweet tooth. It's like sweet things. So be mindful of if you suddenly start craving a lot of sweet and like buttery, sugary treats. When the death card shows up, it asks you to clear space, discard your past to anchor into the present, discard and shed the old self to be replaced by a new reality. So shedding old routines, shedding old habits. This is an indicator also of a necessary change. So you have to change your habits. The 6th bhava is habits, your day-to-day routine. What's your structure like? Do you go to bed at a decent hour? Do you wake up at a decent hour? This is, once the chapter ends, another can begin. So there's a rebirth. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So let's see what else my rising Aquarius, we have the 3 of Swords. So this came up previously. I'm having a feeling that this may be linked to Saturn. You need to let go of something. This is like a dagger to the heart. It's something that you really love. You have to let it go because it is no longer serving you, babes. Babes, it's time to let it go. So let's take a deeper dive here. Astrologically speaking, your 5th lord, Mercury, which the 5th lord is your cabinet, people you keep around you, is here. So maybe it's your friend group who you're taking advice from. Maybe it's time to let that go, to shed. And I say this because we got the fucking death card and the 3 of Swords. It's time to clear house, okay? Then you also have Jupiter, which rules, as I said, your 2nd house of speech. So think about what you're saying and what you're eating. Really be honest about your diet. Jupiter also rules your 11th house of social circles and groups. So again, that restructuring of the people that you keep around you. And I have in my notes, it's okay to grieve, but let it go after a point. So as your 3 of Swords, feeling betrayed, maybe by a friend group, maybe by people in your life, it's time to let it go. You can't keep using the same story, the same woe is me, the same restructuring. It's time to finally put an end to the madness. Dry your freaking eyeballs. It's giving Ariana Grande, no tears left to cry. It's time to move on. The King of Swords. So this is using your sharp intellect, your logic, your truth. When your mind becomes a bit too emotional, too foggy to make a clear, concise decision, tap into that logical side. Whenever this card shows up and I'm having some sort of like emotional conflict, I make a pro-con list. And then I put whatever the thing is bothering me, the person, whatever, on paper in black and white and really just see what the fuck is going on. So my rising Aquarius, please drop a skull emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end of this reading and that you are a rising Sagittarius and that you found it helpful. Thank you and happy new moon. Okay, my rising Pisces. So this new moon is taking place in your 5th house. But before we get to your 5th house, Saturn is retrograde in your Lagna. Saturn is retrograde in your 1st house. Wherever Saturn is and it's retrograde, this is deep karmic transformation. So you might see a complete restructuring of yourself, honestly, like your appearance, because the 1st bhava is like how you look, maybe getting a haircut to the head, growing facial hair, shaving facial hair, doing different things with your makeup. Maybe you start wearing hats or scarves or a bandana, but altering your appearance in some way. And this full moon is taking place in your 5th house of children, students, disciples, counselors, advisors, people who you take advice from. So people who you call them up on the phone because you want advice. Are these people telling you what you want to hear or what you need to hear? So we have the 5 of Cups, which represents letting something go. This is maybe being a bit addicted to something. The 5th house also represents a have in my notes, embrace of the courtesan. So being a little naughty, being a little frisky, I can't say too much because this is YouTube, but dilly-dallying in bedroom pleasures to an exceedingly high volume amount, like regularly being in bed with someone. Time to cut back. You might be a bit addicted to this person. You might be addicted. Notice if you're dickmatized. But this is having addiction to maybe also certain thought patterns, people, habits, actual drugs and alcohol. Walk away to gain some clarity. It's time for you to take a step back. And Jupiter is here, which is really nice. Jupiter, your Lugnatia, because Jupiter rules Pisces, is here to help you clear house and to shed and let go. But when the Five of Cups shows up, this is a point of no return. So this is making a change that is lasting. So make sure it counts. Remove what no longer serves you, and also don't have any regret. This is a gain. This is a positive change. You might, in the moment, feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna miss this thing, but that's thinking small potatoes. That's short term. See the long-term benefit of making this change in your life. What used to comfort you has now turned to poison. And I'm gonna say it has to do with the people in your life, the people who you're listening to, the people who you're taking advice from. Allow yourself to grieve, removing these people, feel the sadness, but then let that pain be a teacher. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, you know? Feel, then let go and release. Take the steps towards coming to terms with your decision. And this will make room for our new romantic suitor and the Knight of Cups. This is someone who is very suave, sweet talker. He is just, will bring you flowers, just ooey gooey, like the ultimate hopeless romantic. And we're gonna pull some astro die to see who this individual could be. Oh, we have it spiraled around. So we have Aries, Sagittarius, and Cancer. Aries, Sagittarius, Cancer is who this person has in their big three. So someone fiery but passionate, okay? So maybe this is, you've been taking advice from a shitty boyfriend, a shitty partner, because the, again, fifth bhava, the fifth house, is embrace of the courtesan. So a lover. This is the Five of Cups leaving a lover, but being rewarded with someone who loves you dearly, who is just the most beautiful individual, who speaks their emotions freely and openly. So this is the Three of Swords. We've been getting this throughout the reading. If you're in one of the groups that's gotten the Three of Swords, can you say something and how this is applying to you? Girl, the Three of Swords, I'm gonna say this is showing up since the Five of Cups and the Three of Swords are framing the Knight of Cups, here to let you know it's time to break some hearts. Don't let your boyfriend get in the way of finding your husband. It's time to dump that man and have a new beginning, because the Three of Swords represents piercing your heart in order to let the light in. So notice if you're addicted to someone, a person, a habit, a thing that's not good for you, when you ultimately let it go, you will actually find the individual who's meant for you. Okay, Jesus Christmas, my rising Pisces, please drop a horse emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you are rising Pisces and that you made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much and happy new moon.